I know it's probably pretty dark on your screens. Can you see me at all time or no?
Not really.
How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was praying, about this whole thing we're producing. And I pray a lot, and I ask the Lord, what do you want me to do? And He shows me. And once again, what you're looking at is going to be evidenced, by all the data that you're going to get that, everything's been led. Everything that you're receiving is by an orchestration, and that's one thing I want to show to you and for you to take hold of. So, I showed you, this is where we're shooting in the art gallery. Todd, just take a spin and get everything without any of the colored lights on it. This is just with normal lighting. Over here I actually have a couple lights on. Let me turn those off real quick. And so let me give you the concept of what this was really all about. And I want you guys to remember, I'm also showing you what predestination is. The Sunglass Company, our tagline is come out of the darkness and into the light with Vlad eyewear, because vampires are supposed to be able to, not come out during the day, but with these sunglasses, they're supposed to be so good that even the undead can come out and hang out in the light. That was the premise of the sunglasses. That's what I used to do before I got saved. So I want you to consider this. I also am an artist, and I was doing artwork, and I developed this art, and I don't even know how it came around, that I would use light as a medium in art. Now, as we're doing this, I'm going to turn the lights down, let Todd just, look at those walls, and without light on it, it's really, even with white lights on it, it's not that really big of a deal. It's not that revealing. But I want to show you now what the point was for this. And I want you to consider this. Just think of the scriptures. Jesus says, where your light shines, it will expose their evil deeds. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. So if anyone wants to come to me, you have to come to the light. Isn't it odd that, the medium in art that somehow I developed before I got saved is light? I want you to consider this. The mystery that's been revealed through this, ministry is given by the light. Jesus is the light. He's the light of the world. So the light working through a human being is what makes manifest what's hidden in darkness. I think it's fascinating that the medium itself is light. Now I want to show you the idea so you can try and wrap your brains around this, because the Lord put it on my heart. Let Him see your artwork. Okay, I always do what He says. And so He put it to me, let them see your artwork now. And sometimes I think the requests that I get are odd, but I always do what I hear. And so I was with Todd and I heard that and said, okay, I'll do it. So let me just kind of give you the concept. Different colored lights are going to light up different images. And the different lights at different directions create depth in the artwork. And when it's dark, it brings it out in the foreground. So what happens is, in each location, there are what are called primary images. I will carve an image of a crucifixion. And if you look right here, I'll give you a very simple one. Here's the top of a head of Christ. Here's like the hairline right here. The nose, the beard right here. The shoulders going out. The muscles in the shoulder right here going out. And then the chest right here. You can see the curves, the grinder marks. And the stomach, the buttocks, the knees. Here's a bent knee going down right here. So there's one angle from this direction. And then there'll be another angle of another crucifixion with the head up here and the shoulders up here. And there's another head up here with the head going straight down where you wouldn't see any of the face. So there's all these different angles. Now think about this. This is consistent through all the artwork. And what I mean is one thing turns into another, turns into another, turns into another. And when you're looking at particular parts of the artwork, something that might be, let's say the wing right here. Here's an angel. So this angel's head right here, here's the wing going back. Well, this wing, if Todd steps further back, becomes a mountain. And this becomes the top of the mountain, and it goes down like this. And the other wing, here's the top, the bent wing. The line of the wing coming down turns into a mountain range coming down into a valley with a stream. and stuff like this. So the point is this. You can't really tell what any of it is. It just looks like a bunch of grinder marks. And you can't really see a whole lot. But now when we apply light to it, it tells a story. And that's what it's like. What? Wait till you see the story this tells. And don't forget, I had never read the Bible. Never. Never read it. Maybe opened it maybe once or twice in my life. And I did all this right before I got saved. So let's go ahead and view the artwork now. And I'll just show you what you're looking at. I'm going to turn on one set of lights right here. And I'm going to turn off this overhead light. And I'm going to start giving you the concept of what some of this stuff is. We're not going to worry about these. We're just going to stick with the metal stuff. Right here, what you're looking at, this is the logo for my company. Is that easy to see, Todd, or do I need to get a light on it?
I can see it.
There.
That's much better.
Yeah, how's that? That's a V with fangs, and there's a bat underneath it, okay? So, and then as we go back, now Todd can go back, you know, there's clouds up here, and there's actually going to be myriads of angels in these clouds that are up here, but I'm going to have to change the lights. As you come down here is a crossbar, and there's a crucifixion of Christ. Here's his head. This is his hair coming down. This hair coming down his shoulder. Here's his mustache and his beard. And this is his nose, his eyes in here. And so it's a side view. Here's his pectoral muscle. Here's his side and his ribs. Here's his waist. Here's, you know, would be his buttocks going down to his thighs and his knees right here. Now here's the thing. He's crucified, but these are flames. These are all flames going up. And here's Christ crucified on the cross. And this represents the crucifixion. And now remember the enemy turns everything upside down thing I told you about? Well, isn't it odd that my logo is a pyramid, but it's upside down? And if you continued these lines of the fangs, it would be a pyramid with a circle. So it would be a pyramid with an upside down circle like the sun rising over that pyramid. A bat. A bat is something that can see in the dark. I just thought, wow, it fits. It's an amazing logo. It really is for a sunglass company. So anyway, so now I'm starting to show you what's going on. Now I want to show you up here. Let's go up here, Todd. Okay, these little beings, these are heads of people. Okay, and this, you can see the blue in here. This is water going this way. And this represents the way water shimmers off. You know, light shimmers off water going down, going down. Well, there's all these different images of the crucifixion in here. And now that we have some colored lights on, even if Todd just walks this way, just walk this way, and you'll see how it changes. When you pan from one side to the other, the image will change to different images of the crucifixion. So these people are coming down a river, and this is the river of fire, emptying into the lake of fire. And as you look over here, well, there's actually angels sitting here watching those that are going over into the lake of fire. Now here is death represented as the devil. So here's a skull with horns and the eyes. And then look, there's a mirror reflection here. Kind of a mirror reflection down in the pit. So there's this right side up, upside down paradigm. This is very fascinating. Now here's the other side, under the other arm, the right side. Remember, the goats go to the left into the eternal flames, and the sheep go into the right to the kingdom prepared from the foundation of the world. Well, before I got saved, I mean, I didn't know anything about sheep, goats, any of that stuff. But I was near the tiger in the Chinese zodiac. So here's a tiger going this way. And the tiger is escaping. The tiger is escaping. This is judgment. And the tiger is escaping the judgment that's happening. And now I want to turn on some more lights and start giving you guys a little more to look at. So I'm going to turn on another set of lights. And so I'm going to turn this one on right here. I want to show you guys a very special light. The other day, I had to get this light. Mine that I had, something happened to it, the wire broke. And so I didn't have this big can, and it's called a wash. It washes out, you know, the scene. And I can light up one specific part very well with a big light like this. Well, I want you to look right here. This came with the light. And this was, I had a friend helping me with this. And we'll probably put a little video in there. This is a snare. This is some used to catch an animal. You set it on the ground and you pull the loop through it and you set a snare, and then an animal steps in it and it grabs the animal and pulls the animal up off the ground upside down. Well, it came with this light as a safety mechanism to keep the light from falling. That's why it's here. But when I put this light up, my friend said, Randy said, "Hey Johnny, there's a snare in this light." And I said, what are you talking about, a snare? He said, "There's a snare in here." And I went, "Wow, that sure is a snare." Well, I'm going to show you something very odd. The light, this big light that has the snare attached to it, we bought this specifically to light up that part of the metal. That part of the metal is Jesus coming on the clouds of heaven with a myriad of angels. And so what I'll do is I'll go over there and start showing you where you can see that. So right here is the head of an angel. These are the wings going out and coming down. Up here you'll see the shapes of angel wings. Just, there's a bunch of little wings, like an army of angels coming behind this angel. And then right here, if you'll go back and you'll have to pan side to side to get this. Here's the head of Jesus and the eyes and the mouth and the beard. And here's his hair coming down in his shoulder. And there's his arm going out. And here's a sword drawn. A sword drawn. And he's coming to judge what's over here. I think this is, look at the colors in this artwork. Now, I want to ask you a question. Just be honest. Do you think it's weird that when I'm putting up this artwork to display it, the light broke that lights up this part of it, and I needed a big light, and that when I bought that light, there was a friend helped me put it up, and he goes, "Johnny, what's this? It's a snare. Doesn't Luke 21 say, and the very powers of heaven will be shaken, and the Son of Man will be coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. When these things, or men's hearts will fail them for fear, looking after those things they see coming on the earth, for the very powers of heaven will be shaken." Doesn't it say it will come as a snare? That's what the Bible says. I don't know. I thought it was weird that the very light that was lighting this part up had a snare in it. What are the odds? So now let's continue looking at it. So here's Jesus, myriad of angels, sword drawn. And in front of Jesus are all these meteors, fire coming from heaven to destroy this. Well, Todd, why don't you come get an image from right here? I want to show everybody the way this works. We're going to do a tight shot on this. So this is going to be very interesting because we just talked about this. Go over that way and you'll get it real easy. Okay, there's a circle right here. Can you see the circle? See the circle right here? This represents the sun. And these represent the rays of the sun coming out of the sun. Well, it also represents something else. It represents the female egg. And it represents sperm trying to fertilize this egg. And don't forget, I did this before I got saved. I had no idea why I was doing this. And everybody was asking me, "Where did you come up with this idea?" And I said, I don't know. I'm just going with it. It's really cool. Look at the colors. And everybody was freaking out. "How did you think of this to use light as a medium?" And I said, honestly, I don't know. So let me show you something else. So right here, remember, this is the sun coming out to destroy all this. And then these are the planets, and these are meteors coming in. And this is the planet Saturn, and there's a ring around Saturn. But I want you to follow this ring. It turns into a giant serpent like this. Turns into a giant serpent like this coming down. Here's the head of the serpent. And these lines represent like a palm tree, the trunk. And there's a woman down here with her head, her back, and that's her buttocks, and her leg going out. And the serpent's coming down on top of her. And I think when you see the reality of just what's in the scriptures, you're going to go, that's pretty impossible. Now let me show you something else. This area right here is very, very important. I told you how this angel, there's an angel over here too. Here the wings are coming down from heaven, landing. another angel coming down, landing from heaven. And this angel's wings make mountains that are coming down, and this is a stream. I'm going to turn on another set of lights right now. There we go. Now, Todd, if you come back, we can get the whole picture. Okay, now, let's see. Let me see. Okay, there we go. So now, we have this serpent that's coming down out of Saturn. It's funny because Saturn, I've come to find out, it represents Satan in the celestial, nomenclature. Saturn and Satan. It's also an octagon, I guess, or a hexagon on Saturn. But I want to show you this. So the angels are coming down and they're landing. And when they're landing, they're coming from heaven, they're landing on earth. That's what this represents. These angels coming down from heaven, they landed on earth, and they fertilized eggs. And here is the scene that shows the fertilization of those eggs. Now, it is what it is. This is a guy's head right here. And here's his shoulders and his back. And here's his buttocks. He's naked. And his shoulders coming out, his arms reaching around. This female in front of him, here's her head. There's her back and her hips. Here's her leg and her buttocks. And they're having intercourse. And so, angels are coming down from heaven. And they're breeding with women, fertilizing eggs. But also at the same time, you got Jesus coming on the clouds of heaven with fireballs, destroying the fertilization of the egg and destroying this fornication thing, all at the same time. Now, what's really interesting, and we're going to touch on this later because it's going to become probably very, very significant, is this. Now, the lights that go in here are not operational yet, but I carved these as these are aliens. These are all like serpent aliens, and they're coming through portals. They're coming through portals. And that's what all this artwork represents. And this is what I was doing in 2001 before I got saved. Also, this right here, this statue right here is, we showed it to you earlier. And let me try and get the light to stay on it. It represents a fallen angel. And this is a knot in the wood. This is supernatural. There's no way a knot could be in the wood right there. And it looks like tears dripping down onto the shoulder, just like the hieroglyph. How in the world is that possible? So it's half one thing, half something else. But you see the crucifixion in the middle? Well, I didn't know this, and when I carved it, I'm going to show you a picture that I have in my photo album from when I carved it. I'll try and find it. Did you know that Ephesians 2, do you know what it says? It says, He Himself is our peace, Jesus, who has broken down the middle wall of partition between the two. His purpose, destroying the enmity, the law and its ordinances. His purpose was to create one new man from the two. And isn't it odd that I would carve something that's a perfect representation of Christ crucified between two different halves? Don't you find that odd? That before I got saved, I had a sunglass company that said, come out of the darkness and the light. It was vampires for creatures, supernatural creatures that fed off their own kind. Wow. Does that sound like the Ouroboros a little bit? The serpent eating its own tail. Isn't it odd that light revealed a mystery of angels coming down from heaven, fornicating with women, fertilizing eggs, and creating another race of beings. And then here's aliens coming through the portal. And that's going to be part of our discussion later about CERN and about the truth of where you live and what it means. Revelation 9:11, they had a king over them, Apollyon, Abaddon, the angel of the bottomless pit. Locusts came out of the pit. So we're going to talk about that later. But I want you to consider this artwork. The Lord put it on me. Show everybody your artwork. I also want to show you over here. This is absolutely something that I didn't know what to do with this wall because it used to be outside. And the Lord very specifically said, make it a cityscape of New York. This is the One World Freedom Tower. This is a building. And I turned the whole door into a building you'll see the angle is going this way. And if this makes it the side of a building, I'll turn on this light. And you'll see light coming through this like it's windows in a big building. So then I told y'all may or may not know this, that I had a baptismal given to me the other day from, I inherited it from Peter Kleck. Peter, my uncle, died 2 weeks ago, and I inherited this as the only thing I got. It's a baptismal, and it's in the shape of an octagon. By the way, CERN's in the shape of an octagon. By the way, octagons are the first thing I started carving out of metal, and they look like portals. As a matter of fact, that's what I used to do, was sit and look into them for hours and hours and hours, and look at all the different images I would carve coming through the portal. That's why I carved octagons. I think it's really strange that I was given an octagon-shaped baptismal, and the very day I got it, I heard the Lord tell me in spirit, clear as a bell, I'm coming to baptize you with fire. And then that very day I did a radio program, and I called my friends like Todd. Todd, you remember that phone call?
Yes.
Yes. And I called several of my friends. I heard the Lord say, I'm coming to baptize you with fire now. And I was like, that is so crazy. I got a baptismal. And guess what? I went in my room and I opened up my YouTube link, because my friend was supposed to post something for our radio show notes. And right there was an image of Jesus in a portal of fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I was like, oh my gosh. I literally was on the phone telling my friends, this is what I heard the Lord say. So anyway, so here's New York. Here's this baptismal that is octagon shaped. Let me show you the very first octagon I ever carved. Since we're just doing like a little art show, let me show you this. That's a stop sign. It's 8-sided. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it says stop. It's a stop sign. And there's right side up and upside down skulls. Right side up, upside down. Right side up, right side up, right side up, upside down, upside down. So, why in the world did a guy that owned a sunglass company that was a pro skydiver, pro sky surfer, just freak out and go on this art run where I got an art studio and all I did was produce art? That's it. That's all I did, that and jump out of planes. And then, guess what? I got saved. Then the Lord called me. And so we're going to go off to the races on this next section we're going to do on video for you guys is going to be called The Seed. The Seed. That's going to be the next chapter in this video. So this is my art gallery. The Lord told me to show it to him now. He always has purpose in what he does. So now I've shown it to you. And now you know a little history about Jonathan Kleck and what he was doing before he got saved and how odd this is when you put it together with all the other information you're going to get. And then we're going to do the next chapter is called The Seed. Here you go.